Hey guys, hope you are all having a wonderful day. We finally made it to the end of the week and can finally take a breather after such a stressful past couple of days. A lot of news came out today regarding the Department of Justice and a newly launched criminal investigation into hedge funds. We also saw inflation numbers rise up to 6.8 today like some economists speculated. We have some really interesting stuff to go over. I am going to try to make through it all as quick as I can. I know you guys are probably tired and looking forward to ending the day. With that in mind, let us Tokyo drift through all this stuff and I will let you go on about your weekend. I want to quickly say thank you to all that watched my morning video. Today we told a really cool story about the first man who took it upon himself to wage a war against Wall Street shorters all the way back a century ago. I will link the video down in a pinned comment below. Before we start, let me quickly state that I am not a financial advisor, and that all content discussed in this channel is simply information gathered that I deem important for people to know, so that they can make informed decisions. All efforts are aimed to better understand the nature of the current market in anticipation of the greatest squeeze in financial history. Let's get started. Inflation is a huge headache the Fed nor the overall government seem to be able to handle, anticipate or contain. Prices climbed 6.8% in the month of November, and is continuously spreading through the entire economy. It's so bad White House officials and the Federal Reserve have both backed away from their typical PR saying inflation was just temporary over the last couple of weeks. At a near 40-year high, inflation was made worse by broad-based price hikes in tracked categories such as gasoline, shelter, food, used cars and trucks and new vehicles. Airline fares also saw a substantial increase. Rents have been climbing like crazy, thanks to soaring home prices and supply chain issues that limit construction of new homes. If you watch my morning videos, I have made a whole series talking about the role Wall Street has helping drive home prices up, so this inflation problem is being made much worse than it has any right to be. The energy index was up 3.5% in November, and measures of gasoline were up 6.1%. Every price saw a substantial increase, and because of it, November marked the largest 12-month increase since June 1982. The Department of Justice has launched an expansive probe into short selling. The investigation, ran by the DOJ's fraud section with federal process, said they would stop detail Evergrande can't pay its debts, and China is going to pay the steep price for it. A barrage of commentary from Chinese top institutions show that their authorities are stepping up efforts to manage the international message on the collapse of Evergrande, even as the developer remains quiet about their default status. Statements from the China Banking and Insurance Regulatory Commission suggest Beijing is seeking to target global investors with a clear message: there will not be a bailout of Evergrande. Chinese authorities are heavily downplaying the prospects of spillover risks. They are attempting to play it cool, but the truth is that the circumstances that surround Evergrande's collapse are spiraling serious questions about the Chinese government and their efforts over China's rapidly cooling economy. As you know, the local government in Guangdong province, which is where Evergrande is based on, said last week that it would be sending some officials into the firm to oversee the risk management, strengthen internal controls and maintain normal operations. The central government is also taking other steps as well, such as Monday when they announced that they would be pumping $188 billion into their economy. With this in mind, we must take a look into the signs of what their future policy easing might entail. Overseas investors have been the biggest victims here, since Chinese officials are prioritizing domestic investors over foreign investors. This is not good, because foreign investors will be driven away by the sudden abandonment, but I guess when your economy is teetering on the edge of a collapse, little things like that don't matter in the grander scope of things. The nation's bigger onshore market has remained much more resilient while all this has taken place, at least for the moment. A lot of speculation surrounds all these developments in Evergrande. Some experts now fear contagion was very underestimated and think we have not seen the worst of what is to come, while others are saying contagion is going to ease off and that China should see a bounce up. I will continue updating you as the situation unfolds. AMC CEO Adam Aron has sold over $9 million worth in shares like he said he would. He continues to own 95,997 shares, excluding 2.9 million issuable in the future. He sold 312,500 shares on December 7 for $30.87 according to a regulatory filing after markets closed. Nothing about this is new, as he explained his reasons for doing this during the last quarterly earnings report conference call. I just thought that it was so inappropriate for Bloomberg to choose the picture of Adam Aron for the article they wrote on this. Out of all the pictures there are of him, They picked the one that have him looking grim, angry and sad. The media as always keeping it classy. They literally never ever fail to disappoint me. Even when the articles they write aren't bad, there is always something. And lastly, I want to talk about something bullish. The Wall Street Journal put out an article pretty much touching on some of the points I have shared with you guys as to the prospect of what awaits GameStop in the future. So you know that GameStop is expanding as a retailer, selling more products than just video games. The new speculations as to the ties and projects they are engaging in with blockchain technology is making us question what the company is looking to expand into and what kind of business model they will operate years from now. What would GameStop be without the games? Hardware and accessories revenues jumped 62% year-over-year while collectible revenues rose 31%. Revenue from game software fell 2% year-over-year. A reorganization of GameStop is clearly primordial if it is to survive. Physical copies of games are becoming a thing of the past, and GameStop is embracing becoming a retail store that sells much more than that to survive, and it is doing an amazing job at that. Merchandise inventory exploded by 91% from the previous quarter alone, the biggest sequential jump in more than a decade, as the company claimed it was front-loading investments to meet increased demand and mitigate supply chain issues. AMC is also embracing change, looking for ways to expand its business to more than just movie tickets. NFTs, popcorn, sporting events and perhaps even a crypto coin are all the current projects taken on to increase revenue streams. If AMC keeps on doing as it is, I think years from now it will go from a theater that also sells other products and services to perhaps a huge crypto company that also sells a theater experience. So long as they can handle their debt, focus on long-term growth and expand their revenue streams, I will not lose sleep out of stress. AMC as a whole is looking their best in all of history, to be honest, with so many opportunities in the horizon, and I cannot express how happy I am to be a part of it. Don't let the daily stock confuse you as to the value these two corporations hold. Keep in mind that the gap between value and reflected price keeps on growing by each share that is bought and held. Let's now talk about today. The Fed submitted over $1.507 trillion in reverse repo operations today. Dark pool trades for AMC accounted for 58% of the total volume today, while dark pool trades for GameStop accounted for 38% of the total volume today. AMC had a larger amount of buy orders than its sell orders, with GameStop also having a larger amount of buy orders than sell orders. Now, let's talk about performance. AMC traded bearishly, losing over 6%. It had a really good performance during the pre-market, consolidating above the VWAP and eventually starting to break resistance. Upon market opening, AMC ran a bit, reaching 29.92. What followed was another brutal attack that lasted the entire day. AMC was taken down from near $30 all the way down to 26. It was not allowed to break above the VWAP, and because of it, AMC was not able to bounce back strong, eventually falling back down to 26. After retesting the low 26, AMC got a bullish wave of buyers that drove the price up to a close at 27.44, above the VWAP. As for what to expect next week, I will make a video on Sunday talking about it. GameStop traded bullishly, gaining over 2%. GME opened to a dip that took it all the way from 162 to 148. Here, GME would consolidate for most of the day. Close to the end of the day, GameStop started seeing a bounce that broke the VWAP. It drove the stock to a closing price of 159.01. As for next week, like I said, I will be making a video on Sunday talking about it. Thank you all for watching my video. That is all I have for you guys today. Big shout out to all the people watching my morning videos. Believe it or not, those videos take the majority of my time. I will link my morning video in the comments below for those that missed it. If you want to support this channel, I have a Patreon link in the description, as well as some one-time donation links for Cash App and PayPal. Thank you again for being a part of this channel. I will continue striving for better content. Enjoy the rest of your day and to the moon.